Pop Step gets shot in this chapter. Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy, Big Blue Drew, 97 here, coming at you with another manga review for My Hero Academia, Vigilantes, manga chapter 81, titled Versus B Pop. And let me just say this chapter is a little bit different from other Vigilante chapters that I read, mainly from the beginning part of it, which is something that we have never seen in the series so far, but it's very interesting, as well as like the connection that the cover page has to the actual chapter, as well as a little bit more that we have in this chapter that's very interesting. So with that little premonition out the way, let's get right into it. But before we get into it, I'd like to ask y'all to give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment down below if this is the type of video that y'all like seeing. And with that, let's actually get started. I want to start off this chapter review by talking about the cover page, where we just have Koichi staring at the sky. And you may be wondering, what does that mean? Is there really any importance to this cover page in comparison to other cover pages? And in actuality, yes, because from what happens in this chapter, this cover page is actually referenced in the chapter as being like a reversal shot. And I'll talk about it when we actually get there, but basically Koichi is looking up at something and is remembering something, and what he's remembering is tied to what is going to be in this chapter. So going from the cover page, we actually go into like this kind of distorted, like dreamlike state, where it appears to be a sort of backstory where we get Koichi and Pop, how they're having dinner, they're having a good time. Apparently Pop Step is looking for work, and Koichi's just chiming, like, oh, it's fine. If you ever need some food, I'll be able to help you. I'll be able to feed you. I'll give you some leftovers. And while they're going on, they're at the Hota Brothers restaurant, where one of the Hota Brothers is like, hey, yo, we got a villain at the train station. And then they suit up. It appears to be a sort of flashback, but it cannot be it because Koichi talks about how he's still a hero. Pop Step mentions that Koichi's still a hero. Weren't you supposed to retire? And he's like, yeah, but I got this new All Might hoodie. So it appears to have been a backstory, but then the next page cuts over to the future, where we see Pop Step and Koichi are apparently living together, potentially married. Pop Step is changing her son's diaper while her daughter comes in and is like, Mom, bathing suit. Her daughter thinks it's a bathing suit, where it's actually Pop Step's old costume. And Koichi makes reference like, oh, I thought we threw it away. And then we cut over even more into the future, where we see Pop Step's Anaha talking about how she wants to be a sort of like what her mother was. She wants to be in the entertainment industry. She wants to be a star. And how her mother's like, oh, I used to be one of that. And we know that Manaha has her mother's temper, and she's like, but I don't want to be a neighborhood star. I want to be a big one. And then her brother Ippo is like, well, you got to control that temper. And Koichi is being Koichi. He's like, ah, yeah, I remember those days. And as Pop Step remembers this, because this is, and then we get the confirmation of what the past 3 panels and pages was kind of Pop Step, or Queen Bee, or B Pop, whatever you want to call her. She's imagining what her life with Koichi could have been. Basically, it's just her envisioning the future that she believes she can no longer have, as she begins to sing a new song called Bloom. And then from here, this is when we get an actual flashback where we see Koichi and Soga's telling Koichi about how the bees respond to song, and how normally they act like normal bees, doing whatever they have instinctively, but when Pop Step begins to sing, that's when the bees begin to act differently. And with this, something else I want to mention is that we have Rapt and Miuru, and how they're actually saying something and contributing to the plot in these flashbacks. Basically, over the past few chapters, they haven't done or said anything, and I've been kind of annoyed about that, because I'm like, okay, yeah, they're being funny, they're goofing around, messing with things, but like they haven't really contributed to the plot. And at least with Raptor, he talked about, oh, so if they say like rock on, then they will react to it. And this is important because this directly ties to what Koichi says later on about how when she begins to sing, that the bees begin to act differently. So that is establishing why the present story is changing, and why the bees will be acting differently, because Pop Step begins singing. And when Koichi notices that the bees are singing, we actually get a double page spread of Koichi trying to avoid the bombs while Pop Step is singing her song. And you know, I thought about singing this song. I'm not gonna do it. Flowers are white, blooming. No, I'm joking. I'm not gonna sing it in this video. But anyway, she sings the song, the bees begin reacting differently, and then we cut over to Nemosa and Endeavor, and Nemosa is noticing that the bees are changing and how it goes from being more of in line from a midair battle to a game, and Endeavor chimes in with being Endeavor, well it doesn't matter, because once I finish cooling down, they're both going to burn to ash. This playtime is going to be over. So, you know, Endeavor is being the Endeavor that we all love to hate. So then we also get a cut over to Koichi's like main crew, where we see the Hato brothers, where we see Cyclops, where we see Wolverine, where we see Ill Boy, as well as we see Mantis Boy, Octopod, the triplets, as well as Mew and Yu. I know their names, I just like calling them by these like just physical descriptions, especially like Ill Boy and Octoid. I love all of these characters, they're very enjoyable. But then we have them also coming to the realization for what Pop's lyrics are. And something I forgot to mention when I was singing Pop Step's lyrics, or Queen Pop, or whatever you want to call her, these lyrics actually have a meaning to it. And to basically sum it up, she's talking about how she had feelings for Koichi, how she basically loves him, but she was unable to show those feelings to him. And because she's unable to do that, she thinks that she's lost him forever, and that this is the end for her love with him. Not only do all of these people like come to the realization of that, it's like it doesn't seem apparent to them unless like you know Pop herself. From there, we start her getting like what her real plan was. She talks more about like how she lost her chance to be with you, but it's okay because my plan is going to be like the end of it. This plan that I have will fix this like basically like pain in her heart. And then while she's talking more about her plan and what her actual plan is, which I'll get to later, we actually see Koichi falling to the ground as we get Pop Step basically confirming what her goal is, which is to basically kill herself. But it's not in like the traditional like, I'm gonna kill myself and take you with me. No. It's even worse than that. From what she says, she plans to kill herself like in like the morning sun, as if she is the sun herself. And when she does do that, she wants Koichi to remember the fact that like he was unable to save her. She wants to be a final reminder to Koichi of the girl that she used to be and how he was unable to save her, and that is what her final dream was. So then we cut over to Koichi from the back staring up the sky as the reverse shot to the cover page. So that's what the cover page is implying. He's looking up to the sky, remembering Pop Queen, Pop Step, whatever you want to call her. I still haven't decided what I'm going to call her, but I'm just going to probably keep referring to her as Pop Step. But she's looking up, Koichi is looking up at the sky, remembering how he was unable to save Pop Step because she killed herself. So now every time he looks at the sky, he's going to remember her. And that is what her plan is. And something interesting about it is like when she finally like confirms her dream, if I remember, her left eye, the eye that has the queen bee in it, it begins to bleed, and as it looks like she's laughing, it also seems to be that she's crying. And this could also be possibly that she's also trying to somewhat resist the bee's influence, which is established a little bit later on. But that's just something interesting, that like she possibly does not have an eye anymore, which it's sad, but you know, love will conquer all. It's not like she's gonna die at the end of this chapter. Wow, there's something stuck in my throat. I think it's sarcasm. But yeah, she knocked Koichi off the building. Koichi begins to fall, but luckily enough, he has his handy dandy grappling hook, which we get another flashback to where Rapt explains that, oh, this is a grappling hook that Knuckle Duster used to use when he swung around the city. And then we get this like cool little funny panel of Koichi trying to use it, and he's like, oh man, this is pretty difficult. How can a normal person do this? And then you have like Rapt and Miru talking about, well, he was not even human really, and he's like, yeah, he was not normal. By the way, you just suck at doing this, that's why like you can't do it. But this shows more of like flashbacks to how Koichi has practiced for this moment. So he uses the grappling hook, and it's also explained like why he has the grappling hook. It's like just in case like your quirk just craps out on you, you can use this as like a way to get footing, which is what he does. He uses the grappling hook, he swings up into the air, and while holding his breath, he uses his quirk to just step, like double jump into the air to try to get close to Pop Step. And right there, moments away from Pop Step, he yells out, "Pop! Pop!" as Pop Step is looking, crying out of her now good eye, reaching out for Koichi, and then shot through the heart, and you're to blame. You hear a bad name. So yeah, she gets shot through the heart by none other than number 6, Rock. This boy just, and let me just say, it's very likely that he didn't kill her. I hope he didn't kill her. In the same vein as I hope he didn't kill Knuckle Duster. But he is very precise with that gun though. So yeah, we get the final page of this chapter where we have number 6 talking about how like, oh, come on, you're so close to your dream. But don't worry, I'll give you a little nudge. You know why? Because I'm your biggest fan. So don't give up on your dream. As you see the smoke coming off of the gun as the chapter ends. And let me just say this, I hate you, number 6. All in all, I thought this was a really good chapter. The only thing that I found a little bit difficult, and this is something that I've seen like more relevant in this arc, is how they use the flashbacks. Now don't get me wrong, I think the use of flashbacks are very good, establishing like certain things, like why Koichi has a grappling hook. Oh, we get a flashback to why that is. Oh, why do the bees act this way? Oh, we get a flashback to this. But something I've always argued against is that it's not very blatant that it's a flashback, and it has to do more with like the colors of this art. There's a lot more like grays. Well, because it's a manga, it's more gray and black and dark, and there isn't like a real way to distinguish the flashbacks in this chapter in comparison to other manga, because normally what happens is they have like everything in black and gray, but then they have this gray like background behind it, but it's normally not like gray within the actual panels, it's gray behind the panel. So it gets real confusing when you're looking at it, and you can tell that it's a flashback, but you can't really tell, which is why I really actually enjoyed the beginning part of this arc, because it distinctly shows that what you're seeing right now is not in the current story, and like the swirls and all of that shows that this is potentially a potential future, or this is like a different timeline from what we know in the present. And I thought that was good, but I've always argued that the flashbacks in Vigilantes, especially in this arc, could be done a little bit better. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fact that there's a song in this chapter that maybe I may post me singing it on my YouTube channel. If that's something that y'all are interested in, leave a like and leave a comment on if I should do it. Chances are high enough that I will anyway, because I thought it would be a cool idea. But I really did enjoy that. I thought the action in this chapter were really good, especially with that big cover page as well. And you know, just seeing like the song and how it actually has like a meaning to like the individuals in the story is also something cool and something interesting that you don't really see a whole lot in just manga, of just like these random songs that have like this really deep meaning to it. As well as, you know, knowing that number 6 is just a horrible individual that will probably die by the end of this arc, but most likely Pop Step will not die. I repeat, Pop Step will not die. Koichi, maybe. Pop Step, definitely not. But yeah, all in all, like I said, really good chapter. I really did enjoy it. Hopefully you enjoyed this review of this chapter of My Hero Academia Vigilantes. And if you want me to make new videos, just subscribe to my YouTube channel, leave a like and a comment below, do all of that cool jazz, and hopefully I'll be able to catch you in my next video. Goodbye! I hate you, number 6. Not that number 6. Yeah, that number 6. I hate you.